Hey, Michael AnthonyJoseph, I am back strong with a new show and a very special guest.
Humble.
I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Introduce yourself, sir, because his name is not really that easy to say. Say your name, sir, please.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Taalib-Din. Taalib-Din Brown. That's my full name. You know, I come to the show today. I'm an educator with a lot of learning, I guess, to share and kind of continue to learn, and that's what I'm here for today. I'm here to share what it is I do, but also continue to grow in what it is I do. Okay, and Mr. Joseph invited me in, so let's play.
I can't express how happy I am to have this brother on my show. Now, I'm going to try not to get emotional because y'all that know me know the waterworks, right? So I'm going to try to keep the waterworks down. But yeah, this brother here is making outstanding moves for the youth. And he's just so wise. I mean, he gave me consultation. So you know, that says a lot because I give people consultation. But anyway, let's cut to my reel. So you can know, just in case you guys don't know who I am, let's check out my reel. You know, the first time I hit him with the money, right? They had to take the money out my hand and do the whole thing over because I hit him with the money. Right in the face, hard. I was so into it. I was just so hyped.
Come on, old man. I've been waiting for this. Come on. Come on. Get this disgrace to the place out of here. John threw this disgrace out once. What's he doing back, Mr. Wright? Someone must have let him in from the inside.
I actually had hair.
As soon as I walk over. I want every door in this school chained and locked. All of them. Yes, sir.
I heard. Got the word.
See, that's Sidney Lumet. He did the Wiz. That's John Gray. I went to Portland, Oregon for that one.
You should have treated me like that.
Steve, do you know these guys?
Remember this, you bitch. You reap what you sow.
She was kicking me for real, by the way. She messed my leg up. She did not like me very much.
You did have a blade, so face.
I had a blade to her face, a rubber blade. The blood was coming through my jacket, through the knife. It looks like it's coming out of her face. There's a dude standing behind me with a pump, pumping the blood through my coat. They're so fake. It's so crazy. Oh, I just missed the courtroom scene. That's one of my favorite scenes. That's Jamie. That's 125th Street. You know, that's in front of our building. Well, my building. My old building. That's Rice High School.
That's Rice in the back.
Yeah. That's 125th. So you know, when I speak from experience. I've done a lot of stuff since then. So, now, moving forward, this brother right here, his company is called Millennium Learning. Let's put the camera on my man right here. Introduce yourself. Tell us where you've been, where you at, and where you're going.
Well, I think that's a fair question. Where I've been is growing up in the projects, right? I think that a lot of people who are in education come in with that idea, that mentality of, let me do something impactful but that comes from that spirit of where they've been. Where I've been is growing up as a young kid, experiencing loss one which way or the other, but growing up in the projects. Where I'm currently going is I'm not sure. You know, I think that when I consider the playing field for
Where you at?
where
You
I'm at.
skipped.
Okay.
Where you at?
So where I'm at is I'm currently a CEO of Millennium Learning. I'm currently an education consultant. I'm currently sitting on 2+ decades of experience as an educator after having grown from project to college to classroom. And now I'm looking to kind of take and leverage all of that experience, all of those different hats that I've worn, and now move forward. And as I think about where I'm going, I think about what is it that the playing field of education currently requires and needs. Looking at young men like myself who've grown in education, who were in the classroom or currently are in the classroom, and the experiences that they have and that they bring with them in what I call their knapsack, and what it requires to kind of get those individuals to where they need to go. You know, young men and young ladies who have grown up in the inner city have a knapsack of experiences, connections that, you know, not the typical student is going to have. I call those intersections. Those intersections show up in the classroom space in different ways. Haves, have-nots, the opportunities that people lie out as possible, as well as those opportunities that don't exist because the system just doesn't allow it. I coach educators, a combination of those at the district level, principals, school leaders, rising school leaders, in order for them to look at the current systems, the ecosystems that exist in their school buildings, and make decisions about what changes could probably produce and what those changes could organically look like in terms of academic cultures, partnerships, and what those partnerships could potentially create. My ideal focus in terms of where I'm going is to create learning spaces that we've just never imagined could possibly exist. And so here I am at the door knocking for different opportunities.
And I am very proud to say I am one of those opportunities. Okay? I am going to help this brother in every which way I can.
I appreciate that.
Basically.
I appreciate that.
Let's show the man's website, please.
We hold space for educators to grow, right? I consider ourselves an eco hub for plants. If you think about what plants require, it takes time to till soil, lay seeds, and care for those seeds over time. You got to water them. And so what we intend to do is we intend to water the educators that we know are currently leading the mission in order for them to kind of step out of their current skin, almost like a snake, and change what could potentially become. You know, you think about caterpillars turning into butterflies, having an opportunity to turn into moths. And when you think of it, it's really that space where you're cocooning and you're still hitting your elbows, you're still hitting your knees, and you're saying, I've done this already, right? What does it require for us to step out of our skins and do something different? And so we've been in the industry for about the last 15+ years. Now we're starting to go national, and broadening our horizons a little bit, going national, gives us the opportunity to try out what we believe is a solid model. You know, when you look at leading pioneers like Ladson Billings, like Goldie Muhammad, like Linda Darling Hammond, right? And you ask yourselves, well, what is it that they're seeing that everyone else needs to adopt? I think that they see that the current system that exists doesn't really provide that whole learner experience. You know, you've got pioneers in a world of psychology like Howard Gardner, right, who sort of came to the conversation about there's multiple intelligences, and if you attack these multiple intelligentsia, then what you have is an opportunity for that child to say, well, I'm going to explore music, but I'm also going to explore my naturalistic intelligence. I'm also going to explore my creative intelligence, and then utilize those different explorations in order to find out who they are. What's the challenge? Challenge is that schools got to be able to provide those different opportunities. In the traditional school system, in the traditional school framework, right? All of those things don't exist. Why? Because we've got other impeding forces. Those impeding forces are like, you know, I've got to do state exams and things like that. So when we take on a school as their mentoring partner, our goal is to help them envision where they would like to go. What ecosystems are they currently using to get there? And how do they have to reimagine that human capital in order for them to make those dreams come true? We touch in like leadership development. We do curriculum analysis and development. That's like my little niche, my baby. I look at curriculum, and I look at how we marry academic cultures alongside good curriculum development practices in order for us to leverage the kind of opportunities that they would like to see.
I want people to have the same opportunities that I've had, right? I know that with education, you could be someone that really wants to learn, but there's so many outside distractions that get in the way. When you look at a child, a baby is born with no sin. He's so pure, right?
Okay.
He needs help. He wants to use the bathroom, you clean him. Kids are born good, but they are taught to be evil. They imitate their atmosphere. So they're taught. They watch TV, they see this and that. A lot of people are influenced by the music industry.
Absolutely.
Who are people who probably, with the right breaks, would have became scholars. But because, like in my case, because my dad was a bank robber, so that's what he handed down to me, you know, take advantage of women, exploit women, you know. Some people are taught, embedded with bad things. So school can be the way out, you know. Knowledge is power. I know that, one, the church saved me because the Bible and the scriptures, going to church and listening to my pastor teach, those words saved me from a lot of things that I probably would have got into. Plus, the performing arts saved my life. So by me going to church, I felt like I got the Holy Ghost, and then I would start shouting in church, and I used to shout a lot in church, and from that I started getting into dance. So when people was putting me down and making fun of me and calling me gay in school because I was the shortest kid in school, always wanting to fight, I would disappear into the dance class. I would rehearse my routines over and over and over, you know, and from that, I ended up going to the door, and then the door got me the opportunity to audition for the characters, and then the characters led to doing movies. So I would like to put my 2 cents into what you're doing by adding my expertise, because the way it is, a lot of people are probably turning to the arts to save their lives.
Fair.
And it's sad because there's so many fake modeling agencies and fake acting companies that people are getting raped for their money, and they're giving up on their dreams.
That's true.
So I see that they selling people pictures, but they don't give them a chance to get comfortable in front of the camera. They don't even take the time to teach them how to pose or how to bring their personality to the frame, to the surface. You know, because every person has a face that tells a story. Every person has a different personality than everybody else. And you can't teach that in class. What the classes should do is bring out these people's personalities, help them to overcome their fears, give them, enhance their personalities so that they can actually find a way out the hood. I made it out the hood, you know, with my acting. So the plan is to branch on with you and to like kind of expand what you're doing and add more of the arts to it, you know, acting for film and television, acting for commercials, acting for print work, acting for catalog work, one-way modeling, and actually giving them the training and the package and then showcasing them on the show and then introducing them to agents.
So you bring up a great point, right? When schools, like if you look back to the Richard Nixon era, right, where Richard Nixon was really trying to create these ecosystems that existed in black communities, black and brown communities, but they were called workforce, right? Trade schools, vocational schools, right? And stereotypically, when those spaces were first envisioned, those spaces were envisioned with not the Du Bois mentality, but you know, the Booker T. Washington mentality, right? Yeah. So like, I need people to go out into. Can
you break that down? A lot of people don't know that.
I'll
the
say
difference
it this
between W.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington.
I'll say it this way, right?
I think I know the difference.
W.E.B. envisioned us being able to take our understanding of arts and take our understanding of like being more technical, being more critical, right? And by critical, I mean argumentative, right? And using that as leverage to into arenas where stereotypically you didn't see black and brown bodies, right? So politics, you consider yourselves as CEOs, right? You consider yourselves as leaders of Fortune 500 opportunities. Whereas in Booker's world, you can say, well, what Booker envisioned is that we would
blue collar workers.
We would monopolize blue collar opportunities where we would see ourselves as laborers, right? We see ourselves as craftsmen, right? We see ourselves as architects of what can be created out of using our hands. So anything agricultural, anything masonry wise, so those kinds of divisions, right? So we're thinking of areas where you typically are not seeing a lot of black bodies in our current economic structure, right? And you think about that as being one definition of trade schools, vocational schools, and you can see how those sort of like develop momentum. You know, after we had Nixon fighting with busing, boycotting, and saying, well, we're not gonna move those black and brown kids into more affluent neighborhoods, right? And so out of that came shop classes, right? You know, you think back to when we were younger, in any high school that you went to, everybody had a carpentry, a shop class. You know, you got to work with some electrical work, not so much plumbing work, but you know, you've had those opportunities. If you think about the kid today says, okay, and so what, right? They sitting at the door with bowls of cereal, eating that up, saying, yum, 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 what else you got, right? So you can't necessarily provide what was always given. You got to step out the box. You got to step out the arena and reimagine what kind of trade opportunities could exist today for those students. When we think of film as a capsize, right? You think about the runway model. You think about the little small TV commercial, right? But you don't see all those other opportunities that exist in the industry if given due exposure and due opportunity to explore, right? We talk about experience. 99% of what we do in life is driven by, did you have that experience? Did you get a chance to play in the sandbox, right? Think about kids, for instance, right? When kids are in the park, kids learn the pleasure of running and playing because they went through the sandbox, they played on the merry-go-round, they jumped on the jungle gym, they swung on the swings, they fell and got back up. And that built a sense of resiliency. So if our young people are given opportunities to treat every single career development opportunity as a place to explore. I never envisioned myself, loving kitchen work. I ain't no chef, but I put it down, right? I never went to culinary school, right? But that was one of those niches that Howard Gardner talks about, right? Are you a creator? Do you have that creative mindset? I don't envision myself to be a landscaper, but on the property, I've done all the landscaping myself, right? But that came with an experience. If not given the opportunity to experience these things, our children don't get an opportunity to see what the barometer of their development could be. So I see marrying the two as a great way to create different reimagined schools.
Well, the thing is that, see, what happens is that, speaking from my experience, I worked with different modeling agencies as a booking agent and stuff. And I worked with my agent, talent scouting. I worked with some of the top casting directors in New York, talent scouting. But see, the thing is that these companies use hype, and they catch people with the hype. This movie star came through here, this movie star came through here. And it's sad, because when you look, you see they casting call, like I was looking up the boot camps, because to start the boot camps. And the boot camp was like 100 people there. And they said they're gonna speak to an agent, or they're gonna walk in front of agents. None of them have experience walking, and they don't even train them on how to walk. Then they take pictures of them. Well, these girls look like they don't know what the hell is going on, because in the pictures they have no facial expression. Their facial expression don't match the pictures. See, if you really put the time and the effort into telling these people the truth about their talent, see, like for instance, when they say model camp, runway models, runway modeling, all ages, all types, it doesn't work like that. Runway modeling, they look for a certain height, a certain type, right? They're not really telling these girls, look, you could play the victim. You look like a vixen. You look like the hero. You look like the lawyer, strong, bold type. They're not really guiding them the right way, and then they get their money. And then they don't even push them to Disney or to Tyler Perry or Oprah. They're not really pushing them in front of the real people. And you'd be surprised. They are looking for talent. And these people that are looking for talent don't charge any money. You don't have to pay them, but you would never know that, because according to these agencies, you got to pay $1,300, $1,400 to be in a cattle call, when you could really just take your comp card and mail it to them in the mail. You don't have to pay $14,000.
Well, I think, what you talk about reminds me so much about education, because large classrooms don't work for every kid. Right. I give you an example. I had an opportunity to do some coaching in Iowa, and when I was in Iowa, we was talking about creating small group learning opportunities, and how much more of learners could you see when you create small group learning opportunities, and they receive ongoing, continuous feedback from their educators, and the educators from their leaders, right? And so if sending a person out into these large casting arenas exposes them to a large classroom learning experience,
Right.
that's not going to allow them to flourish, because they don't feel like it's as individualized.
Right,
They don't
it's
feel
not
like it's as
individualized.
personalized, right? So
That's why I only want to take 8 students. I don't even want 8. I'll take 6. I don't
That
want
makes
100.
that makes sense.
Because then I'll get to really blossom them.
That
make
makes
them look
sense.
great. You know, it's kind of like, remember New Edition? Remember when New Edition first came out? Didn't they look broke? They looked so
As
broke.
they should.
And then when they blew up, didn't they look like new money? Them niggas look
course.
like money.
Of course.
That's what I do.
Of course.
They come through the door, they might look like this. But when I'm finished, they look like this. See, the thing is, even with the reality shows, they be like, they got real, America's Next Top Model. I can talk about them. They ain't around no more. So she not gonna sue me because everything's been said already.
Well,
But
I ain't got nothing to do with that.
besides, I know homegirl. But anyway, the thing is, anybody, if you put a package together and it's impressive, you send it to the right people, almost anybody can actually make it. And nobody should have to give up on their dream, especially when they paid the money. You know, when you pay top dollar for your pictures, you're supposed to get professional pictures. You pay for acting lessons, you should get acting lessons to help you audition and get the part, right? Nobody quits under me. I can't stand that. Even if you hate me, I'm still gonna make sure you get in movies. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in anybody coming through my door and giving up on their dream.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? So with me, with you and me, we get to really change lives. It's really just that simple.
I think that's the experience that everyone aims to receive, right? I hold certain cornerstones, you know, as non-negotiables in the conversation, right? And when we think of merging these two worlds, this world of education, but this also world of creativity, you know, I think that you have to keep certain things as non-negotiables. Personalization, small group opportunities, ongoing mentorship, and continuous feedback.
Yeah.
You know, I think that creates that, like, yeah, I feel like I'm getting what I need, right? When I was taking music classes as a kid, right, I didn't take music classes at the Harlem School of Arts and have a bunch of people in our class, right?
I forgot all about them.
Yeah.
I need to go hit them up.
Yeah, yeah. It was personalized, you know, between me and my music teacher, right? And I think that's a part of the experience that people, when they sign up for these boot camps and they sign up for these sessions, that's what they want to have. They want to feel like they got mentorship. They want to feel like it's a small niche group. They want to feel like it's personalized, right? They want to feel like, hey, I've got ongoing feedback, and no matter where I am, this person is going to be concerned with my best interests, right? I think that experience is what creates that butterfly from caterpillar moment.
There's you just hit it right on the nut. There's also like the after effect. See, for instance, right, I'm able to be a good mentor. I like when you said mentor. I'm able to be a good mentor because I failed and I accomplished. So
You know
people
what Peter
can,
Brown says about that, right?
Oh, Peter Brown, the book, right?
Yeah.
My man. Lester, is it Lester Brown or Peter Brown?
No, Peter Brown talks about successful learning, right? He says that failure is a part of the process.
The whole process, yeah. So I'm saying, you get yourself, it's good to see you smiling. There go that emotion I was telling y'all about. It's good to hear us on the same point, on the same head. The same, two together gathered in my name, my spirit will be there and I will bless.
Amen.
But anyway, so that's the thing. You want somebody that been there, done that, made mistakes, had hardships, had accomplishments, so that you can learn from both sides of the coin. You learn from my mistakes, but you also learn from my accomplishments. And what it does is that it saves you from making mistakes. That's the whole point of having a mentor or OG in your life, because they'll warn you from not making that turn. Because a lot of things in life you learn as you get older is the decisions that you make in life that mess your life up when you make bad decisions. So you seek wisdom so that you avoid making bad decisions. But one thing I noticed, like I said, people went to big schools and stood in front of me. When I had especially when I was in Jersey, when I had my office on 35th Street, they went to these schools and with $100,000 in debt and stood in front of me for 1 hour and said they learned more than the whole time. But see, the thing about it is, these companies, you can pay the whole 10 grand or 20 grand and wait a month and call them and see if they even remember you. These people take so much money, and then when you call them, they don't even remember. Or when I be like, oh, I'm interested in
Well, I ain't mentorship, right?
No, that's, I don't want to say their names because I don't want nobody trying to sue me. But a lot of these so-called modeling schools, they say, don't worry, your portfolio is online. But as soon as I try to hide it, let's say you are represented by them, and I say, well, let me see his pictures. And I go try to find you, you're not even there. They done took your money, and when you call them, they don't even remember you. They take people money and they kill their dreams, destroy their dreams.
Well, you know, thinking about where we come from, right? Coming from out of the communities that we come from, you're not going to allow somebody to experience that 1 in a million in a room feeling, right? You want them to feel like they're 1 in a room and there's a million people outside that room waiting to experience what they have to offer, right? That mentorship, that personalization is game changing.
Yeah, it is.
Right? You know, when people feel like they have an opportunity in the environment that you're setting them up for success in, that's game changing, right? That's history making.
Well,
In my opinion, I could be wrong.
You're right. It is.
I could be wrong.
It's game changing to the core of their whole being, their whole future and their life. But see, the thing is, that's the thing about the arts. When you want it, you dream it. Like Oprah wanted it. You know what I'm saying? These people wanted it. And then the thing about it is, my thing is, I want to give you guidance way after. You could pay for class. You could pay for your pictures. You could pay for your reel. But once you got your whole package together, then I want to take you, put you on the show, showcase you. But then when I introduce you to an agent, you still don't know how much you're supposed to get paid. If you do a commercial, you don't know how much you're supposed to get paid. So I'm still going to be there to give you advice, to let you know, don't let these suckers use you. They're supposed to give you $5,000 or whatever. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to watch over you. And even as a consultant, even if I'm not your manager, I'm still going to be that consultant. I got clients that called me from 10 years ago. That's still...
You concerned about their outcome.
Exactly.
Right? In those moments, you see people shine because they have someone that's continuously there, nurturing, guiding from I'm invested in your outcome.
Exactly.
Mindset, right? Like there's that other opportunity where it's like the more people I have that come through my doors, the more money we make. You have schools that are actually like that, where it's about the number of kids that they could pack in the building, they could pack in the classroom.
Yeah.
You know, you have some of our viewers right now who are probably saying, yeah, I went to one of those schools. Certainly, I think that exists. But when we step out the box and we take the wisdom that some of these, you know, good theorists are recommending, Darling Hammond, right? Goldie Muhammad, right? Ladson Billings, right? When she said it, that's just good teaching, right? She meant it, right? That's just good practice. That people feel like they have a one-to-one opportunity, that they feel like they have someone who's invested in their outcome, who's going to make sure that they continue to get the guidance and support, not because I want to fill my pockets, but because I want to see you become great, right? Like that's game changing.
See, I'd rather tell you the truth than to mislead you and take your money. See, what they'll say, all tapes, all heights, all sizes, and it don't work like that. So everybody will come, all height, all tape, all sizes, and they'll make them walk on a runway when they'll never see a runway a day in their life because they're not even the right. It's sad. Me, I'm going to look at you. When you stand on my wall, I'm going to tell you, you're not a runway model. but you could be a great print model. You'll be great for print work. The posters you see in McDonald's when you go to McDonald's, the pictures you see in the magazine, you know, the pictures you see on the poster, on the billboard. I won't tell a person, do this, and when I know they're not right for that. And then they spend their money, and then when they don't get
That makes
nowhere,
sense.
then they realize, they're like, oh, he took my dream.
That makes sense.
I'd rather point you in the right direction,
Right.
so that you don't waste a minute of your time,
Right.
and then put a package together that will sell you. It's just like if John Belushi come to me, I'm gonna say, dude, you're funny. You know, if Will Ferrell come to me, I'm not gonna have Will Ferrell walk in the runway because he like 6'2". I'm gonna be like, dude, you're a fool. You're good at playing a fool. That's your niche, you know, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make scenes where you act stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna help you find your niche, then instead of just pointing you in the wrong direction and taking your money.
So when you brought the idea that there should be these eco hubs for performing artists, for individuals that want to explore their creativity, what resonated so well with me was the idea that you're looking at the outcome and you're working your way from from
Like
the
you talk-
outcome, all the way backwards, right?
Right.
And to
From
see
the,
that.
from the big picture all the way back to the very first step.
Yeah, because if I want to get into, you know, education, I want to be able to have an opportunity to work with, you know, student teaching, right? Like that's just naturally a part of the game, so that eventually I get my own classroom. But if I'm in performing arts and I don't get the opportunity to create multiple examples that demonstrate my creativity, that doesn't allow me to market myself well, you know. And that's what I sort of resonated with in terms of the idea that you brought forward, where it was like, listen, there's a boot camp that can exist, and in this boot camp we can create spaces for individuals to explore and then have this platform that allows them to demonstrate, showcase, right? I think that that's amazing, you know.
And then it's a niche. See, I'm sorry,
No,
cut you off.
please.
Because another good thing about the movie business, once you in the movie business, you can branch out to different areas.
Exactly.
That's dope. Because like, and then, you know, as a consultant, I tell people how to do that. But that's the thing where, before, I want to make sure I show some stuff. Now, one thing we talking about is sell to set. Getting guys, people who are in the jail system to learn the acting and to get to go into the movie set. Sell to set, we making that happen now. Then we have each boot camp, the boot camp for doing TV commercials, the boot camp, a real modeling boot camp where you really model for the type of modeling you're right for. I'm not gonna have you do runway when you're 5 feet tall, okay? Boom, no pregnant girls walking on the runway, no. You'll do commercials for toilets and Pampers and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm just keeping it real. But the thing is, you really care about people and you're making a difference. And I really care about people. And I have the experience from being in 50-something movies. You know, I can remember times when we shot, like when I met Mick Jagger, right? And Bill Nunn. I worked on a movie. And in the movie, it was a scene where we go through time. And I was freezing my ass off. And I had to sit by the water, by the Brooklyn Bridge, by the water in January, and it was a wet set. So even though the water, the water was ice, it was so cold, they were making it rain. My clothes were freezing on me. My pants were turning to ice, because not only was they raining water on me, I was laying in a puddle. Almost froze my ass off. But after that, I got speaking roles without even having to audition. But the thing is, everyone can find their spot. You gotta have a good mentor. You gotta have someone that's been there, done that, that's gonna tell you the truth. Good one, good one. Good one. So, but the way the concept is the atom, the nucleus is the talent. And then the outer shell is all the specialists: hair, makeup, wardrobe, Taalib, Michael AnthonyJoseph. People to help you work with your voice, your speech, your stutter, your accent, the way you strike a pose, your dramatic pause, the way you enter a room, your etiquette. People, specialists to work on you. And then not just giving you good pictures or a good reel, telling you where to send it. That's the part that's
that
priceless.
feedback.
Feedback. See,
Right.
I like the way he right up here, because I'm still a high school student compared to this guy. You know, he talk on that level. I love it. But yeah, that feedback. And then what comes from experience. See, a lot of times people don't believe in themselves. They don't have the confidence. And going to these auditions and rehearsing builds confidence. And then now these people, we give them enough that they can take it and put it in their pockets and go on and make a career for themselves. Like The Rock, got out of jail and became a movie actor. You know, with the skills and the stuff that we teach you, you'll be able to go on and continue to build your career from there. Like my man, Dwayne Johnson, it took discipline for him to watch his weight and to work out and to keep working out, keep working out. That's all I need. Just show me potential. I'll do the rest. You know, just
Or
show
most
me.
of the rest.
Yeah, well, I got hope.
Most of the rest, right?
You know what I'm saying? I'll hire the crew. I'll do your reel. I'll get you to Tyler Perry. It's really that simple. I don't want any more people giving up on their dream. Now, another thing you want to show is vulnerability and strength. I want to show my reel, my monologue. So we could just be quiet for a moment and show some real sensitivity. This is from the TV show, the movie Coolie High. I don't know if you saw this. Did you see my?
I saw Coolie High.
You see me do Coolie High? Did you tell the truth? Did you see me crying? You didn't see it.
We're going to see the monologue.
You didn't see it. I know you, because you would have been telling me by now. Oh, Mike, that was crazy. Can we show the mon? This is it. This is it. You know, this is dedicated to your brother. Believe it or not. That's why I can cry like that. When I think about him.
Sometimes I just be sitting around. I look up. I expect to see you come around the corner.
Sorry.
I hear your voice calling my name. I don't expect you to go to Hollywood with me. I know. You know, one of the guys, they're gonna be alright. We were sitting around the other day. When we got high, and I was like, jeez, well, one y'all just sitting around acting like fools. They're gonna be alright. You know? I miss you so much. I miss you so much. I wrote a poem for you. I know you don't like poetry. But I wrote it for you anyway. It says we were friends a long time ago. chasing girls, expecting no rules. Expecting no rules except the money cap. Basketball days and high nights. Not worried about tomorrow. We live for today. Oh, baby. It don't rhyme. Listen, man. It could have been the greatest. Could have been. Let it go.
Okay, so wanted to show some sensitivity because, see, the thing with acting is that acting puts a mirror up to life and lets life take a look at itself. So when you look at it, you're supposed to forget that it's a movie or it's a TV show, and the writer and the actor is supposed to make it so real that you identify with it, and it makes you cry or it makes you angry. You be so mad at the character. But see, it can also be therapeutic to the actor. So to that person that's in jail or that person that was molested all his life, acting can be a way out because you get to let all your pain out in the scene. So you get to wash yourself out, you know? So by helping people get into the acting business, really get into the acting business, you're giving them a way to make a whole lot of money and a way to let out their pain and they suffering, to express their emotions and to actually become control of their emotions. So you're helping their whole life. You're helping them be able to deal with stress, to deal with the problems in their life. Because, like for instance, like when Luda used to say, I got my homies to put their baggies back. I was really doing that too. I didn't become a millionaire, but I helped a lot of drug dealers stop selling drugs and start making movies. Do you understand?
Well, it's important to know that there's more than one avenue to success. You know, one of those biggest pitfalls or roadblocks are, you know, fear of seeing outside the box. And once you realize that these potentials exist, it creates an awakening. It creates a door, you know, that just traditionally wasn't available with the mindset that we were carrying, right? So I like the idea about taking the guardrails off possibility. You know,
I like the way you put that.
if we can do that, then I think that, you know, when you reimagine the film industry as a creative workforce development opportunity, it then creates different pathways that just no one would have thought, right? I never knew that a film grip could be just as impactful as the actors on set, right?
Everybody on set's important.
You need a key grip, right?
Yeah, you do.
You need these people,
And
right?
a good teacher will tell you to keep your ego in, because we don't like egos. The makeup artists don't like it, the wardrobe, but we have to deal with it because stars, you know how they are,
Well,
right?
you know,
Mad, demanding, but you got to get there.
like, you know, when I think about it this way, right? You remember the Michael Jordan story that often is told today, but wasn't necessarily told previously, right? That story was that teamwork is important. Every single member that's a part of the team has a role to play.
Well, it was Jordan, and he had to learn. Because in the beginning,
yes, it was. Yes, he did.
It was Jordan and the Jordanaires.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And we saw how far that got him, right?
Yeah, he had to learn to be a team player.
It took a lot of losses.
Yeah.
It took a lot of failure.
And then they got 6 Pete.
Exactly. Right?
It's
and
the
what
same
did
thing
what
with my
that
life
came
story.
along with, everybody having a part to play, but everybody realizing that their part is just as vital to the success of the whole. Right? When that awakening happened, championships.
So we looking to make champions. Basically, we want people to come to us and not have to worry about being taken advantage of.
Fair.
That they really will find their niche.
Absolutely.
They'll find what it is that makes them tick, and then we'll put that on video and on photography. We'll make that package for them. We'll showcase them. We'll guide them. We'll mentor them, and we'll help them get in. Once you get signed to that agent, then we'll hold you down for maybe a year, 2-year management, 5-year management. Because you're not going to use me, okay? Get all my crew to take your picture, and then have me train you and make you Leonardo DiCaprio in front of the camera, and then hook you up with Tyler Perry, and he make you a billionaire, and I'm still eating crack soup.
Well,
it's not going to happen.
I tell my
if you're going to blow up and become a millionaire, I want 20%.
I tell my principals all the time, right?
We're going to manage you. Believe that.
The best coaches have coaches.
Thank you.
Right? It doesn't stop at the door of, hey, I got a successful school, because a successful school one year might not be the same as a successful school the next year.
Well, our school gets better and better every year.
Certainly.
We're going to keep adding.
But we can't rest on our laurels, right?
Our laurels?
We're not going to rest on our laurels. Whatever successes we make in first year, we've got to top those successes in second year. And I think that that's what allows, good coaches to continue to have coaches, because you're not caring about the success you did before. That was yesterday.
Well,
that was the past.
I'm saying, one, all the work that I've already done, all the work, all the pictures and all the acting lessons, all the years of experience, me getting beat up in movies, all that stuff is brought me to this point. Now, with you allow me to be able to do everything I want to do. So I get to bring everything to the public now, and I get to charge what I'm worth. I'm still not going to charge that much because I'm worth a whole lot. So, but still, I get to give back. And
which is the most important piece, right?
Yeah.
Because we want to necessarily, like, if you think about Maslow, right, this hierarchy of needs, you make it to that self-actualization phase where you go into your profession. And then there's that transcendental phase, which says that now you're doing selfless work. It's about the betterment of someone else's journey.
yeah, it's really not about the money. It's really about doing a good job. And that I want each person to say, Mike, I did it. Like I told you, we got 3 minutes. I told you about the guy, he sent me pictures from him on the on the red carpet of the TV show Barbie.
Yes.
And he told me, I'm the one that got him there.
That's a transcendental moment.
He said, I got him there.
Right.
And he said he was going to come be on the show.
Right.
Stood me up twice.
Fair.
Then I still said, come on, be on the show. Then he wait the day before the show to tell me I had to pay him $650. We supposed to come on the show and tell everybody I'm the man that got him on. Yo, he paid me $150.
It happens.
When the schools were charging $2,500.
It happens.
I took his $150 and put $50 back into him because he wanted to go get a job at UPS. I said, don't work for UPS. I'm putting you right in front. You're going to do In Gear magazine. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. I paid for his first website.
And look at that.
And he
Voila.
did everything
You
I
had-
said. He
you
did
had
In
your
Gear magazine.
transcendental moment.
Now he goes back and
In
forth
that
to
action.
California. All I asked him to do is shout me out. Tell everybody, yo, Mike did it for me. He wouldn't even do that. This nigga was nowhere close. He was trying to play thugs. He got a baby
okay.
face.
That's okay.
I started 3
okay.
minutes.
That's okay.
Here we go.
That's okay.
This is it. It's on.
That's
Okay.
okay.
You want to contact us. You want to get into the business
Absolutely.
or education. You need help with how to set up your school. This guy teaches principles. Talent consultant. Shout your business out again. Is there a number you'd like to leave?
Well, you can drop by our website. Our website is millenniumlearning.org. There's an opportunity for you to connect with me. You can, create a contact, and then that would allow me and my team, to follow up on your inquiry. We are in the back to school phase as it is right now. So do take time and reach out no matter what your concern might be or whatever help you may need. I'm not particularly going to typecast any of the work that we do. We are always looking to just help people become their better version of themselves.
I couldn't have said it better. You see the mixture here? It's like class and style all together. Like, it's really, really hot. But anyway, I am open now, completely. Commercial print, the Actors Boot Camp, fashion modeling boot camp, comedy boot camp, stunt work. If you're trying to be a stunt performer, everything. You learn how to do it, you do it, then we shoot it, we put it on your package and send it out. Call me directly. I'm still old school. I do phone. I do pen and pad. Call me on my phone, 646-874-6597. That's for talent in front of the camera. If you are crew, you want to operate these cameras, you want to help us with editing, you want to help us, with all the boot camps, then you got to call my behind the scene number. That's 347-500-2913. That's for crew, 646-874-6597. We even need spokesmodels. We're paying for that. So call if you want to be in front of the camera, call if you want to operate behind the camera. Making of a Star, baby. This one was hot, right? I know the phone is going off the hook. All right. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
My boss. Basically, that's what's up. I think we up, right? We good? Nice.